Great Wall, directed by Zhang Yimou. I think that's how you say his name. Apologies if it's wrong. He's directed past movies Hero, House of Flying Daggers, and Curse of the Golden Flower. Matt Damon stars as this European mercenary, and he's been pursued by enemies. And that's when he comes across the Great Wall of China. And this is where he encounters an elite force making a stand for humanity on the world's most iconic structure. And what are they making a stand against? A horde of green, monstrous, lizard-like creatures. They rise every 60 years and make an attempt on breaching the wall and to spread out into every corner of the world and kill and destroy everything. So basically the Great Wall of China is the only thing that stands between us and these alien creatures, defending the rest of humanity from an invasion of lizard-like aliens, basically. Right, first off, the script in this movie, the dialogue, it's terrible. It was so cheesy and cringy in places. It was just very bad and very wooden, clunky, just very unnatural. There were things people would say in this film and it was like, really? In a way, the film sort of amused me, but all for the wrong reasons. I sort of chuckled myself at certain parts, but it was because this film is very cheesy and cringy in places, and it was amusing in that way. But first, I do really want to mention, I love the scenery. The scenery in this movie is beautiful, by the way. It's all filmed in China, as I believe. And the director does a good job of making sure we get to take it all in, all this beautiful scenery by, you know, having these big sweeping aerial shots of the landscape. But there's moments in the film where, in ways in which the camera moves and certain angles, it's like, I don't think that worked. And there were often moments in the film where I felt like that. I mean, there'd be a certain moment and the way the camera would move through the scene, and I would often think, oh, I don't think that quite worked. But anyway, you know, I really liked the look and the scenery, and you know, the fact that you get to take it all in, because it was quite alien-like in a way, for me anyway. But there were also moments where I really liked the camera angles, and there were certain things that the director does with the camera in this film, and I really liked it. I mean, for example, there's one shot, I think it was in the trailer, I can't remember, but it's a shot of a soldier, a female soldier, jumping in the air, through the air, and you were the camera is sort of attached to her underbelly, so you get in the angle of her diving, but from that sort of angle, and you're looking at it through this way towards the face. And I really liked that choice of angle. I really liked how the director used the camera in the film. CGI in this movie was poor to okay. It really wasn't that great. You could tell it was CGI very clearly, and as a result, I felt made this film feel a little empty and weightless. Majority of the movie requires CGI, and there were moments that didn't look that bad and were okay. But then it comes to the horde of aliens, especially when they're in their masses, and it was sort of obvious. Now, they may have looked very CGI, but I actually loved the design of the alien lizard-like creatures. I really did like the look of them, especially when you eventually get to see them up and close in detail. And you get to see how they communicate on all of that. I thought that was pretty nice and pretty cool. And I also liked the sound that they had when they sort of screamed. I thought it was very cool and very nice. I sort of, you know, I really just liked the noise they made, even though it sounded like they'd stolen the same sound effects that they used for the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, like the for the T-Rex or Velociraptors, for example. I'm not sure if that was just me, but let me know. But I love those sound effects anyway, and so I kind of liked that. Now, some of the action scenes in this film were pretty impressive. I'd say this is probably the movie's biggest positive, and that's the action scenes. They were fun, they were entertaining, and I did actually enjoy them, especially the first battle, which reminded me a little bit of the battle at Helm's Deep from the Two Towers. It was fun, thrilling, and it was quite epic. It had that epic sort of feel, and I was immersed. And I feel like a lot of that was down to the fact, again, like I mentioned earlier, about the choice of how the director would place his camera. I mean, the choices that he made to shoot these scenes and certain angles, and like, for example, like what I mentioned earlier with the camera being situated on that female soldier's belly as she's jumping into the horde. Moments like that, I really liked those moments, and how he chose to direct and shoot these moments. The movie was a visual treat, and there's no denying that. There were some really nice moments and shots. I liked how some of the action scenes were shot, but there was a overuse of slow-mo in this film. For example, there was a moment right at the beginning of the film, and they used slow-mo for a particular moment, and it just stood out as being very random and just used for the sake of being used. And it just sort of made me cringe a little bit. So there was an overuse of slow-mo, but there are moments in which it's used and it's utilized right, and it felt more right. There's a moment or scene which involves a funeral, and it has these lanterns, these big Chinese lanterns, and I found that to be a rather beautiful scene. I really liked it. If you've seen the film already, you'll know what I'm on about. And I just loved the way in which it was shot, the music and everything. And, there were other moments, little moments like this throughout the film. And, there were signs of this. This could have actually been quite a good film. I also really liked the set design. For example, inside the wall, everything looked real, and I think most of it was. It felt real anyway, and so I appreciated that. And I also liked seeing how the wall would work. You saw more of that during the beginning, the first part, the first act of the film, and you with all these different weapons and secrets that it would have hidden, and I thought that was pretty cool. What really let this film down for me, though, was the acting. The acting, characters and script. This could have been a really good film, but unfortunately, as much as I enjoyed the action scenes and acknowledged that visually the movie in parts looked very nice, overall it's not that great a movie. The acting, characters and script is what I felt really brought this film down. What really brings the film down. Acting was very bland. No one's performance really stood out. I thought Matt Damon was very miscast, actually, and he did not sell his character to me at all. To be honest, he looked very bored in this role. The characters were very one-dimensional. There was nothing there. No development. I really didn't care for anyone, so when required, the movie lacked any emotional impact and just ended up feeling very empty. The movie lacked weight, and the characters were just very poorly developed and performed. They were very badly in fact, and I felt like that mixed in with the very sort of CGI looking creatures which are the enemy of the film, that again sort of affected how I felt during the action scenes. And even though they were fun and epic, I felt like the action scenes also sort of lacked any weight or sort of, urgency or emotional impact, down to the fact that they look so CGI, as well as the very one-dimensional human characters. Certain characters would do stupid things, like that would amuse me for the wrong reasons, things that are just obviously done to help the plot move along, like a mechanism that would just help get characters from A to point B. And that would be something as stupid as, and this is an actual example from the film, it's not really a spoiler, but it's, they take him to the cells, and it's, oh, we can't lock him in the cells now because I can't find the key. So they will have to come up on the wall with us, where they will obviously be heroes and help us fight. And it was just that very obvious and cringy, and so in a way it felt very sort of lazy. Lazy story writing. So yeah, even though I'll admit this film was fun and entertaining in parts, and a visual treat even, it also felt very empty and mindless. I didn't care for anyone. I can see people enjoying this movie, but you're not going to get much else out of it other than a bit of fun. down to some good action scenes, which most of the time were well shot. There was also an attempt at injecting humour into this, but it failed miserably. So bad, actually, that I really did cringe. There were so many moments where it was obvious that they were trying to make light of a situation and just add a bit of humour, but it felt so forced and unnatural and out of place. You know, the attempt of humour in this film really did fail miserably. The climax of the movie I did find quite entertaining and a little bit immersive, considering how much I didn't actually care for the characters and how empty the film felt for me. I really liked how the climax was shot and how it played out. I enjoyed it. The climax also involves a moment where Damon's character and a female character, they have to make their way up this tower. And this goes back to the set design, I suppose, as well. But, you know, inside this tower, they have these sort of really nice coloured windows. And you've got the light coming through. I mean, so it lights the inside of this tower up. And you've got all these different colours. And I thought that really looked really nice. And again, that's going back to the sort of visual style of this film and how this film looked. And, you know, it was a nice looking film. And it had a lot of nice moments in the movie like that. And, yeah, I liked that. But, you know, again, as exciting and epic the action scenes were, they just lacked any weight and urgency. And, you know, it was very sort of mindless in a way. And, you know, again, you just didn't care for the characters enough because they were so damn one-dimensional. I just really didn't care for any of the characters in this film. I actually didn't quite like Matt Damon's character and his sort of his friend or his partner in this movie. I didn't like either of them. So what really let this film down for me? The script, the characters, and the very bland acting. It just felt very empty. The overall film felt very empty. It had no sort of soul or heart. It was fun, and I did enjoy the action scenes, and I appreciated the visual style of director Zhang Yimou, I think, as we say his name. Sorry for that, but you know, as visually nice this movie is, you know. And visually, you know, this film is very nice, and I can see people enjoying this film. It's just nothing great or special. So I will be giving The Great Wall a C. So I was a little bit disappointed by this because it looked like something that I would really enjoy and really get into. So in a way, The Great Wall reminded me a little bit of Gods of Egypt in that way. Because that was also a film that I should have really liked. It looked like a film that was right up my street and that I should have really enjoyed. And I don't think many of us did. That was quite a bad film. I don't actually think this is as bad a movie as Gods of Egypt overall, but it's not great either. But what I would really like to know is, what do you guys think? Did you love or did you hate The Great Wall? Like I said, I can actually see people really enjoying the film. I was entertained to a point. I did enjoy the film. And so yeah, I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Again, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. You know, if you like what you see and you share the same passion as me, then why not hit subscribe and follow me on my journey.